Hello and God bless everybody. Today I want to talk to you guys about what my experience with Nintendo at PAX East and how it whetted my appetite for what potentially they could have at E3 to show off, and hopefully I will be attending E3 this year. And if I do attend, it just whetted my appetite for what they had at PAX East, for what could be potentially their E3 lineup and the games they could have to show off. So today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my expectations about what I experienced with Nintendo at PAX East, my expectations for them at E3. So first and foremost, I want to talk about this game I played at PAX East right here, right there. Wolfenstein: New Colossus. Now I know Wolfenstein: The New Colossus has just officially been given its release date, which is June 29th of this year, and I'm really excited that it is coming out in June. Because we don't have a lot of, usually the summer months you don't get a lot of good games, you don't get a lot of good AAA games or any games in general. Because summer months they aren't really releasing games because they're expected to go outside, do shit, and all that kind of stuff. Well, this actually got me excited that this is coming out June 29th because I got to play this game at PAX East. The first day I got to PAX East, this was the first game I played, which was Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. I did previously played the PS4 version. I don't own it, but my brother owned it. I played it on his PlayStation 4 and I loved it. But yes, this is a game that isn't a JRPG that I'm playing. It isn't Japanese related. But I had my doubts about how well this game would perform on the Switch. Just because from what you're seeing, it performs pretty damn well. But I didn't have my doubts about, oh my God, will this game play horribly on the Switch? Will it have frame rate drops? Will it suffer from things that the Switch, things of the Switch not being able to handle it and shit like that? Actuality, it actually played pretty damn well, and actually, I didn't see hardly any frame rate drops. Yes, the graphics are a little toned down between the PS4, PC version. That's to be understandable. It's on the Switch, a portable like device. So, yes, I actually am pretty glad. I didn't get to play it in undocked mode. I only got to play it in docked mode. But when I played it in docked mode, it looked really damn well. It looked like it held up with the other counterparts. And yes, the graphic quality was toned down a little bit, but it didn't look like it would tone down that much. And it is playing at a lower frame rate, which is 30 frames per second. But it never felt like it dropped frame rates. It never felt like once it dropped frame rates like below 30. Like there was maybe one part of the game where it maybe dropped like to 27 or 26, but it never dropped super low where it was like continually dropped. No, it didn't play at a solid 30 from what I saw at PAX East. And I'm really excited for this game when it comes out June 29th. I cannot wait for Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus to finally drop on the Switch this summer, because that will give me a great game. I like games like this, believe it or not. I do like games like this because I do like games like this because I played BioShock. And that was a good single player shooter and I loved it. And I just like the single player first person shooter genre because it means I don't have to go online and play against other people online and stuff like that. I did hear that from another person that on the box art it says it will need a download on the cart, or just want to download from the cart. But I heard from also that person that, sorry, it's in my mouth, it's only 13 gigabytes on the Switch eShop. So it's weird that this game is only 13 gigabytes, yet it needs an additional download on the cartridge. So that's kind of weird. I'm guessing it's either some day one patch or something like that, like the other person was saying. Beat 'em up was saying. I'm guessing it's probably going to need a day one patch, but it's weird that it needs that is 13 gigabytes when the Switch actually had games that run on a 13 gigabyte card, but yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird, but regardless, I'm super excited to play this when it comes out. I played it at PAX East, and this got me only way my appetite for it, potentially, then they'll control off of other games from like Bethesda and all that at E3 and stuff like that. I mean, I'm as far as to say that with this being working on the Switch, I honestly think we could see Fallout. Now let's get into Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors was a game that I played at PAX East on the Switch, and I loved it. Hyrule Warriors is way better than the Wii U version on the Switch, and it's running at a solid 60 FPS. A solid 60 FPS, where it didn't drop at all below 60. And on top of that, this just isn't a straight up port of, say, the Wii U version and the 3DS version. There actually is a lot of new additional content added to this. Like you're going to see me doing in this, where you can actually switch between characters in battle. That was not something you could do in the original Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. When I played the original Hyrule Warriors, when you play Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, you were stuck as whatever character you started that mission out as. You couldn't switch between any of the other characters that are on the field. They added a new feature to this, which I really love and really wish would have been in the original Hyrule Warriors, which is the ability to switch between characters on the fly when you're out in battle. I think that's really cool. I would have loved for there to be an online co-op in this game, but there isn't, unfortunately. Unfortunately, still no online co-op, but still, this is definitely gonna be a buy for me eventually during the summer months and stuff like that. I loved Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, Hyrule Warriors on the Switch. It's shaping up to be a phenomenal game. It runs a lot better than the Wii U version, and with all the additional added content, it's worth another dip in buying it, because not only are you getting all the 3DS characters and Wii U characters, you're getting new additional features that weren't in either of the versions. Such as what I'm hearing, what I heard is that in the Adventures mode, you can now buy the items you need to proceed through certain parts of the Adventure mode, which was a tedious task in the Wii U version, is that you had to unlock those things and you couldn't buy them. Now you can buy those things like the candle and shit like that in order to get through the adventure map. So I think that's really, really cool. And I like that this game is running at a solid 60 FPS. I mean, it's just so great to see this game running at 60 frames per second, which is something I would have never thought they could possibly do with a game like this, because there's so much stuff going on the screen. It's just amazing that we're getting Hyrule Warriors on the Switch, and this is one of the games I really wanted to come to the Switch, because unfortunately my Wii U, I'm not going to trade over the Lost Ground, I've traded over before, but you already know it was stolen a long time ago. Ever since I lost my Wii U, I have wanted Hyrule Warriors to return to the Switch, because that was my one go-to game on the Wii U that I would always go back and play. No matter how much I played through other games and shit like that, I will always go back to Hyrule Warriors. It's good to see Hyrule Warriors coming to the Switch. It's good to see Hyrule Warriors coming to the Switch. It's good to see them adding new features and not just straight up porting the Wii U version with the 3DS characters, adding new features and stuff like that, and truly making this a fresh new experience for those that have already played it. They're getting a fresh new experience with this version of it that wasn't in the previous version. So I have to say, even if you have already picked up the Wii U version and still have the Wii U version, I would say definitely pick up Hyrule Warriors when it drops in the next couple of weeks. And I believe it drops May 24th or something like that. Pick it up definitely. I unfortunately won't be able to pick it up day one, but I do plan on picking it up during the summer. So yes, this game is just, man, it's just got me really whetted my appetite for what eventually we'll see from Nintendo at E3. And yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, I'm honestly thinking with the release of Hyrule Warriors, what other Warriors games Nintendo could use in their properties and stuff like that. And I've said it for the longest, I would love to see a Hyrule Warriors 2 So if this can spark a Hyrule Warriors 2 or maybe a Hyrule Warriors or maybe a Nintendo Warriors All-Star with the like Fire Emblem and Nintendo Fire Emblem, Zelda characters, Metroid, all that other stuff, that would be great. Or maybe they could do a Metroid Warriors series, or even a I don't know, Xenoblade Warriors series. I mean, the potential for the future Warrior series is endless, and yes, this lineup is just, man. I mean, this game is just amazing. As you're seeing it on the Switch, it's just amazing what the Switch has and potential for it. And on top of that, we're getting those wonderful Breath of the Wild outfits in the game, so I'm down with that. So yeah, that's just all I have to say about Hyrule Warriors. Now, this is a game that honestly, you guys are going to be shocked that I actually played, which is Dark Souls. Yes, I actually played Dark Souls on the Switch at PAX East, which is once again, this is my first experience with Dark Souls. I've never played any of the Souls games before, but it was my first experience with the original Dark Souls, and it was pretty fun playing it at PAX East on the Switch. Now, this is one that I don't know much about the PS3 version because I never played it personally. But what I did hear is that this version is running at the same frame rate that the other versions are running at and the same graphic quality. So it is pretty cool to know that the remaster version of Dark Souls on the Switch is not being watered down as apparent to other games that are coming out for the Switch. I mean, Wolfenstein 2 really isn't being that watered down. I mean, it's watered down in terms of graphics, but in terms of content, it's the same content you got on the other consoles on it. But yeah, Wolfenstein is Dark Souls is pretty much the same version of the remaster on other consoles. On the Switch, I did get to play it at PAX East. It was pretty fun. It was something that I would actually have to get used to playing using the trigger button to attack. I mean, I really don't like how the right bumper is to attack, but then again, that's been the way since Dark Souls ever first came out. So I just like using my face button to attack, so that was the most awkward thing getting used to there. But it was pretty fun playing it. I do like the potential of what Dark Souls on the Go can do for the Switch. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for that, Dark Souls on the Go. But it's still one of those games that I haven't had an experience with besides at PAX East. So it will be a game I'll potentially might be picking it up later on during the year. Probably picking up at launch I think this game is another game that comes out during the summer or in May. No, it comes out, I believe, May 28th or whatever. So unfortunately, I won't be picking this game up at launch, but I do want to pick this game up eventually when it does come out. Eventually after it comes out for the Switch during the summer. So this will be eventually pick up for the Switch. Right now, things the way they are, I just don't really, this is really the top priority, but it does look pretty cool. And I know a lot of people are like, but it's a JRPG. It's more Western than JRPG-ish, which is why I'm going to pick Code Vein up over it. But still, I did enjoy Dark Souls. It was a cool game. Actually, the funny thing is, right after I played Dark Souls, I went straight in line to play Code Vein. So I went straight out of the Nintendo booth to go play Code Vein right after this. So that was a little side note that you guys may have wanted to know. That's the whole reason I went to go play Code Vein, because I saw it that day. I was in line, because it was the second day I went to PAX East on Friday that I played Dark Souls. And when I saw Dark Souls at the Nintendo booth, I was like, wait a minute, that's Dark Souls. Cool, I'm going to go play it and go play Code Vein. So, here is a game that honestly, I am super excited for to play on the Switch. That I would have never thought would have came to the Switch. And that is this game right you see behind me, Crash Insane Trilogy. Now, the Crash Insane Trilogy was a game I didn't think would potentially come to the Nintendo Switch just because original Crash Bandicoot really wasn't on the Switch. It was on the PlayStation. So it's weird to see this game coming to other platforms especially a Nintendo console of all things, because Crash, as you know, back in the day was a very much big mascot for PlayStation to compete against Mario and Sonic. So it's weird to see Crash potentially showing up on a Nintendo console. And I'll be like, well, does this confirm Crash for Smash? I don't believe this necessarily confirms Crash for Smash, but I think that would be cool if Crash Bandicoot was in Smash Brothers. But regardless, this is really cool seeing Crash Bandicoot on a Nintendo console. Now, I will say this about Crash Bandicoot: it did play at a lower frame rate compared to the it played at the same frame rate compared to the other version. I don't think the PS4 version played at 60 FPS. It even played at 30. So this is playing at 30 just like the PS4 version. But it did have some graphic quality takedown, like you could see like where anti-aliasing wasn't on and stuff like that. So it didn't have anti-aliasing on and stuff like that, and it did run at a lower frame rate. But regardless, it still was cool to play Crash on the Switch and all that. So yeah, Crash on the Switch is something I really am looking forward to. I cannot wait for it. Crash the Chain Trilogy, I'm definitely picking it up. Now let's get on to the main subject, which was the whole reason I made this video about Nintendo's PAX East lineup and how it whetted my appetite for E3. I first want to get the chit chat about all those games out of the way, what I played of them and my experience with them. Now I want to talk about how this whetted my appetite for E3. These games were just appetizers as opposed to a main dish, which we'll be getting at E3 this year. Now, a lot of these games were games that weren't just coming out in like the next couple weeks or next couple of days and stuff like that. Because I've been to PAX East before, and my one thing about the Nintendo booth at the previous two PAX East I've been to, which was 2015 and 2016, is that both times I went in 2015 and 2016 to PAX East, Nintendo's booth was pretty much just games about to come out in the next couple weeks, or games that are already out that I could just go out and buy. So it wasn't really anything new there at the Nintendo booth that I could really play. This is the first time at PAX East that I could actually play straight up new games that weren't just about to come out within the next couple of weeks. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh my god, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus doesn't have a release date yet. Because at the time when I went to PAX East, this game did not have a release date yet. This release date was just announced, I believe, a few days ago. So when I went to PAX East, there was no release date for this. I was like, oh my god, I can play Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus at PAX East before anyone else, and that's really cool because I can actually get a scoop on this and get gameplay of it that other people wouldn't have. So I thought that was like really cool how this was like an appetizer E3 lineup. I mean, Nintendo's booth, let me tell you, this year at this year's PAX East was ridiculously long every freaking day. In fact, the shortest day of their booth was Friday. The shortest day of their booth was freaking Friday. That was the shortest day of their booth. Every other day, their booth was extremely long. Saturday, good luck when getting into that booth on a Saturday. And then Sunday Eve was even long. Even Sunday, the Nintendo booth was still extremely long. Nintendo has always had the biggest booth lineup at PAX East. But I feel like this year at PAX East was the greatest booth Nintendo ever had at a PAX ever. Like, this was a miniature E3 lineup right here. I mean, there's games that were shown off there that I didn't even get to play. Like Travis Strikes Back. Travis Strikes Back was shown off there at PAX East, which we just got the reveal of that almost a month ago at the Nintendo Direct in March. It's almost a month ago, 2 months ago at the Nintendo Direct in March to get the reveal of Travis Strikes Back, but yet it was there playable at PAX East, and that's a game that's not about to come out in the next upcoming weeks. That actually wasn't going to come out until towards the later half of the year. So I was like, that's really cool that Nintendo had this lineup of games that we're just going to be playing tomorrow. I can just go out and pick up at Walmart tomorrow, or go out and pick up at Best Buy or off Amazon within the next couple of days, and be like, oh wait, why would I play a PAX East? I'll just wait a week and play it. And that was the thing. There's like a miniature E3 lineup, because at every PAX, every PAX, I don't care what anyone says, especially during the Wii U generation, Nintendo's lineup at PAX sucked ass. There was so many games that were already out on the Switch at PAX East that it made it not even worth being in their booth lineup. This year, it made it worth the while being in their booth lineup. I was in their booth lineup. It was worth it. I got to play games that, like I said right here in those games I showed you off when I talked before, I got to play them all before they were even going to come out to the public within the next. And there weren't games that just going to come out within the next couple weeks. There were games that were coming out either 2 months after PAX, or 3 months after PAX, or even, as Travis Strikes Back concerns, later on in the year, towards I believe Travis is supposed to be coming out in either September. That's not coming out to September. That was a freaking amazing thing at PAX East that was like, wow, this is the best Nintendo lineup at PAX East. Not only made me thinking about, wow, if this was their PAX East lineup, which was the most impressive I've ever seen Nintendo have, going strong with the Switch, I can only think about what their E3 lineup will be for the Switch. And as I say that, I'm pulling out my Switch, I honestly think that their lineup for this thing at E3 is going to be fucking ridiculous. A lot of people are thinking like, oh, well, maybe we'll only get Smash Brothers there to play, and a few games that we know already announced with Switch. No, I honestly think that Nintendo's lineup at E3 is going to be a lot of games we're going to get to play for the first time that have been announced, but we're going to get to see them in playable form for the first time at E3. And that's the reason I'm trying to go there, because it honestly, we're talking about games like Shin Megami Tensei 5 being playable. I'm honestly thinking Shin Megami Tensei 5 will be playable at E3. I'm thinking that it's going to be playable. I'm thinking Shin Megami Tensei 5 is most likely going to be playable on the Nintendo booth at E3. So on top of that, you got other games like Fire Emblem, the new Fire Emblem. I believe that's going to be playable on the Switch at E3. I believe the new Fire Emblem will be playable on the Switch at E3. Nintendo will show it off. They will have it there to play. You will be able to play the new Fire Emblem at E3. I believe they're going to announce it and be like, oh, playable on the show floor. So I believe Fire Emblem will be playable. I believe we'll even get potential Pokemon, not just Smash Bros., but Pokemon on the Switch playable on the show floor. I think Pokemon, honestly, I have no doubts that Pokemon is going to still come out this year. I still think Pokemon is going to come out in the November slot, in the November-October slot for Nintendo of this year. I don't think Smash Bros. Is going to release in. I think Smash Bros. Is most likely going to be a September release. But honestly, Pokemon on the Switch, I know I've heard from my people like, oh, the new Pokemon game is going to be a mystery dungeon game on the Switch. No, I don't think that the new Pokemon game is a mystery dungeons game on the Switch. In fact, we've heard so many sources saying that the new Pokemon game is even from Game Freak. Game Freak themselves has said the new Game Freak doesn't even work on the mystery dungeon series. Game Freak themselves have said they're working on a new version Pokemon game on the Switch, so I'm thinking that will be playable at E3. I'm thinking we'll get it playable. I'm thinking it will be amazing. I'm thinking it will just be, oh my god. And then on top of that, there will be other games that we might not even see coming out of left field being playable at E3. Like, I honestly think Bayonetta 3, even Bayonetta 3, I'm thinking will be playable there at PAX East. I'm thinking we'll get our first ever form of Bayonetta 3 playable at PAX East on the show floor, which is just amazing. And on top of that, Smash Bros. We already know Smash, we already Nintendo know since having an invitational. But Smash Brothers, I'm thinking will be playable there on the show floor. All that good jazz. Smash Brothers will be playable on the show floor. Amazing. That'd probably be one of the first Nintendo games I play. Now on top of that, we also have possibly, I'm thinking we could see Retro Studios game at E3 and playable on the show floor. I mean, there's just so much shit that could be playable at PAX East PAX East, at E3 on the show floor, that this lineup that Nintendo had at PAX East only whetted my appetite for the potential of what PAX East is going to... I keep saying PAX East. The potential of what E3 is going to have for what PAX East had. I mean, E3, honestly, this could be the best E3 Nintendo has had. I know over the years Nintendo has not had a bad E3 since they have announced Breath of the Wild back at E3. Back when they first fully revealed Breath of the Wild at E3 2016. Back when they fully revealed Breath of the Wild, Nintendo haven't really had a bad E3. I mean, Breath of the Wild's E3 was amazing. They killed it with just showing off Breath of the Wild. Then the year after, then last year, when they showed off a lot of Switch games and Mario Odyssey and stuff like that, they killed it again. Now I think Nintendo's going to kill it again this year at E3 with their amazing lineup. And on top of that, honestly, I think Metroid Prime 4, we cannot forget about Metroid Prime 4, my reaction from last year. We cannot forget that. I honestly believe Metroid Prime 4 will be playable on the show floor at E3. I really do believe Metroid Prime 4 will be playable on the show floor at E3. I do believe it. I honestly have no doubt. In a way, I'm kind of hoping we get the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch. They remaster that for the Switch. I think that would be a great remaster to get people that have not played the Metroid Prime series before and geared up for Metroid Prime 4. I mean, me potentially, I've played through a little bit of the Metroid Prime series, but I've never fully played through it. So in a way, it's super hard to hunt down a copy of Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii. So it could be a way for like, hey, like they did with Bayonetta, where they released Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch. They could be like, hey, we're releasing the Metroid Prime Trilogy from the Wii, remastered, on the Switch, and all they really have to do is upscale it, put it in 1080p, rework a little bit of the graphics, and it could be great. And they could even have that playable on the show floor. I mean, just the amount of potential the main dish E3 Nintendo booth could have is ridiculous. I mean, I honestly, when I went to PAX East, I didn't have a lot of hopes and expectations for Nintendo. When I went there, I was like, you know what, it's probably going to be a letdown for Nintendo. It's probably not going to be this amazing thing for Nintendo. So to see this amazing lineup Nintendo had as like an appetizer dish, this only whetted my appetite for what potentially E3 could have. And let me tell you something. If I end up going there, you best know your boy UncleShal will be getting all that Nintendo content he can get from E3. He'll be getting all the Nintendo content he can get from E3 that can make me as full as possible on this Nintendo Switch loving goodness. I mean, come on. Boy, Nintendo. Boy! Nintendo just killed it at PAX East. And let me tell you something. E3 will be the tip of the iceberg where Nintendo kills every motherfucker out there that honestly wants to touch them. So yeah, I just want to say that I honestly am excited for what Nintendo's potential E3 lineup will be for the Switch this year. I'm honestly excited. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what Nintendo does at E3. It's just going to be an amazing E3 this year. I think this year's E3 is going to be Nintendo's E3, where they show that the Switch is here to kick ass, take names, and do what Reggie Fils-Aimé says. Reggie's body is ready for the Switch, and the Switch body is ready for Reggie. So yeah. I just wanted to give you guys about that video about what I am expecting at E3 from Nintendo. So if you guys like this video, want to see more of this kind of content from my channel, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe here and turn on that bell notification and turn it on to all to be notified whenever my videos go live. And for all your Nintendo news and JRPG content, be sure to stick here to UncleShal. And until next time, people, this has been UncleShal saying God bless, take care, and I hope to catch you guys in my next video and wherever I make. Peace